Hi, I'm Becca Jasperson with Jasperson Realty.
And I'm Jacob Jasperson, and today we're just going to talk through a little bit about our new seamless sales program, what it all entails, why we started that program, and what it means for people that are looking to list their house. So Becca, I'm going to let you kind of talk through what the program is. So what is seamless sales? What's all included in it? What does it look like?
Yeah, so Seamless Sales is essentially a full service listing program that we have designed for our sellers. And what's included is we have vendors that, we have a painter, we have a stager, carpet removal and replacement, just any vendors that you might need to get your house ready to sell. And all of our vendors get paid out of the proceeds of the sale. So rather than having to spend a ton of money up front to get a house ready to sell, you can do some of those updates and not have to pay it all out of pocket.
So what prompted the program? I mean, those all sound like things that somebody could do on their own before they list their house. So what kind of prompted the invention of the Seamless Sales program?
What prompted it was we do a lot of work with estate type situations. So kids who are selling their homes after their parents pass away, and maybe the kids live out of state now, or they're just not in the area. And we were finding it was taking people a really long time to get their house ready to sell. And it was a ton of work for them as well. So they were trying to clean the house out. They were trying to paint it, clean it, get it ready. And in one case, I had clients where it took them 18 months to get their parents' house ready to sell and go on the market. And so I was thinking, how could we take some of that burden off for the clients? Because if you're driving in every weekend, or you're flying in, or you're trying to coordinate all of this and you don't live in the area, then that's really, really difficult. And it's a lot of stress, and selling your home is already stressful enough.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to take on as much of that heavy lifting as I could. And then the piece where it being paid out of closing, if it's the children selling their home or the estate, and most of the asset is in the equity of the home, then that makes it a lot easier for the estate or the kids or the seller or whoever it is to make those updates so that you can get top dollar for your home rather than just selling it as is or something like that.
Yeah, and you mentioned top dollar, so I would imagine that most of these houses, when you go through and do the updates, the house is actually going to be able to sell for more than what it would have been able to sell if you just listed it as is?
Yes, exactly. So we do a cost by cost comparison, and we show this is what we would list it at if we just did nothing and we sold it as is. This is what we would list it at if we did this, this, and this, right? And the other thing is too is, in one home we updated the electric because there were parts of the electric that were not up to code. And then that opened it up to a bigger pool of buyers, because with electric, you have concerns about getting home insurance or your loan coming through if you have a VA or an FHA loan. And so by allowing our sellers to fix the electrical concerns prior to selling it and then paying for it at closing when the house sold, they didn't have to pay for it out of pocket. They opened it up to a larger pool of buyers and ended up listing it for more and selling it over list price.
So full service sounds expensive. What does this typically look like for somebody that's selling their house? Are they spending more money than they would have if they just sold it as is? What does that typically look like for people that are selling?
Yeah, I mean, you're spending more than if you sold it as is because you're doing more, but it really depends on the house. Some houses are going to need more than others. Some houses, maybe you're just refreshing the paint a little bit and it's going to be a few $1,000s. Some homes we're just staging. Some homes need more, like that house that had the electrical concerns. We did electric, painting, new carpet in that home. So we did a lot more, but they ended up netting more in the long run by doing that than if we had just sold it as is.
So they essentially ended, even though they put the money, and when I say put the money in, they didn't actually pay for it out of their pocket, right? But they put the work in to update the house, and then they ended up making more than they would have if they would have just not done any of that.
Right, exactly. And with the Seamless Sales program, exactly, they don't have to put that money in up front. And that's what I was also finding is a lot of sellers wanted to do those updates and repairs because they were seeing other homes in the market getting higher prices that if they could just do these updates, they would be able to list at that. But they didn't have the cash up front because so much of their money is in the equity of their home, which is true for a lot of people.
And probably didn't have the time either.
Yeah,
because I would
it's a lot of work.
A lot of people know what they need to do, but they just don't either have the time to do it themselves, they don't have the money to pay somebody, or they don't have the bandwidth to manage multiple contractors that are coming in and out.
Yeah, everybody's busy. And so we take on essentially the project management role of it. I go in and I say, this is what I would recommend doing. I get the quotes from all of our contractors and vendors and say, this is what I would recommend. This is how much it's going to cost. This is how long it's going to take. And that's the other thing. Typically, if people try to do this on their own, it takes longer. Like I said, that one person, it took 18 months, where with our seamless sales program, that house where we did pretty much everything, electric, paint, carpet, we still had it ready to list in a month and a half when they gave us the go.
So not only are they getting more for their property than they would have if they would just sold it as is, but it's also selling quicker than it would have otherwise as well?
Yes. So they're also getting the profits in their bank account sooner.
So I see a lot of, whether it's real estate companies or home flippers or whatever, saying, hey, we'll guarantee that we sell your house or we'll buy it, or we guarantee you a cash offer. How is this different from like a guaranteed cash offer?
It's different because a lot of times when people are doing that, they're paying you less than market value because they're gonna buy it and then essentially do what we're doing with our program and sell it for more. So it's different because we're helping you make the repairs that you need or the updates to get that higher list price. And obviously we're always monitoring the market and taking that into consideration with what we're recommending for each house. But a guarantee, you're typically getting less than what your house is actually worth. And that's how they guarantee that they're gonna buy it.
Yeah, so essentially this program lets the homeowner keep that additional profit rather than who's ever coming in and buying it on the guarantee.
Exactly, exactly.
So who would you typically recommend this program to? Who's a good fit for a seamless sales listing?
Yeah, so estate type situations are really great. Sellers who live out of the area from the house that they're selling. And then honestly, like pay for convenience people, right? So if you made some updates to your home and that would help it sell, but you don't want to do it yourself and the equity of your home can pay for it, it's really good for those types of people as well.
Yeah, and I would also imagine people that maybe have thought about selling at some point, but they knew that their house needed a lot of work to do it. Maybe now a program like this would be good to say, hey, we can take advantage of a good market and get all the things done that we need to get done without having to pay for it.
Exactly. Any
other closing thoughts or things that you want to mention about seamless sales?
I think it's a really great program and can really provide a lot of value for sellers. And again, we're here to provide options. So even if you're not sure this is a route you want to take, it never hurts to explore the option and see both sides of it. And so we're here to provide as much value as we can to our clients. And
I guess one final question, is seamless sales the only option for people that are looking to sell?
No. So we give the option, and also, mind you, you don't have to do every single thing that gets recommended. We're gonna talk through the plan of like, okay, this is where you're gonna get the most bang for your buck for the market right now if you don't wanna do everything. And we'll go through all of the options, and then at the end of the day, it's your decision. We'll give our recommendation, but it's your house, it's your money. You decide what you wanna do with it, and we're just here to provide additional options.
Perfect. All right, if you guys have questions about seamless sales or want to learn more, just head to jaspersonrealty.com/seamless-sales, and you can check out all of our information about seamless sales and also request some additional information to see if your house might be a good fit.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see more about seamless sales and learn more about Jasperson Realty.